All right. Making sure everything is moving live, and then we'll get started here. Looks like Twitch is working as intended. And the YouTube stream is working as intended, so we can actually get rolling here. Just start by recapping what we've got done. We're still working on making the boat game. It's day 8 of the Vtuber Tiny Jam 2026. Here's our to-do list of things we need to do in blueprints. Here's some other stuff that I'd like to do in Krita to make our 2D assets, but now let's focus on the blueprints. Because yesterday we implemented our boat customization widget. We added a boat customization actor, and we're able to spawn turrets on location of the cursor. That's great and all, but we only made it work for one of the boats, and we have 3 boats, so we need to start working on that. Now, something I noticed is, might be easier to show you through here. While it is clicking below the mouse, I'm not that concerned with it. However, try to place a boat on top, turret on top, sorry. And if you click here, you don't see it. It's because it's spawning underneath, but it'll spawn here. So we might need to tweak that real quick, just so that way we got our bases covered. I'm just gonna do this a really simple way. First of all, I want to fix this capsule thing. There we go. Then let's drop the half height to about 25 maybe. Yeah, 25 should be fine. And then we're just gonna take this here, copy and paste it. There we go. Drop it 1, 2, 5. And then we're going to drag this across and down. Let's line this up to match here. Up the camera speed just a little bit. Then drop the Z to maybe 3. There we go. Now what should happen is if the player drops a turret right here, the turret will clip, but it'll at least be visible. Guess we can test this. Yeah, so we can now have turrets anywhere and they will be visible, and that's the intent. So cool. Now we got to save these settings because we can't have these collisions be this way for all the boats. So how do we want to do this? Okay, so what we're going to do, right here, during the pick boat function here. So, when the game loads a save, and in our case for this menu, when the player selects a boat, it'll change the boat. It'll change the arm length of the camera, so we're not that way when we have our top-down view like this, it's not you know, too close or too far. And then once all of that is set up and the camera placement is set up, we need to load the transforms for these boxes. So let's rename these as well. So this box seems to be covering the main body of the deck, so we'll call this the body box. We'll call this layer 1 box. And we'll call this layer 2 box. So we'll need to get transform. Maybe I should say get world transform, or maybe relative transform. Relative transform. Cool. No, we don't want to do a get. We want to do a set. I don't know what I'm doing. Set relative transform. And what we're going to do is we're going to promote this to should we promote this to a variable, or should we make this an array that we pull from? We should probably make this an array that we pull from. Let's duplicate this one and call it body box array. And just do a get here. And to get a copy. And the index will be based on the boat choice, just to simplify things quite a bit. So now we just got to set up this array, which actually shouldn't be too difficult, because all we really need to do is grab this information and put it in slot 0, which is here. I wonder if we can just copy this like so. Paste. Copy this. Paste this. And then finally, copy this. And paste it there. Cool. Now whenever we change boats, it should change this hitbox to match with the rest of the boat. Now we just got to do the same thing a couple more times. We're gonna probably need more room than this. Let's slide this way more this way. Because we're gonna need to do this for each box and each boat. Can I just do this maybe? Here we go. Then we can just grab our boxes like this. Duplicate this. Call this layer 2 box array. And layer 1 box array. Whoops. Layer 1. There we go. Now we can just hook these up to the respective places. So there's layer 2. I want the layer 2 array. Get layer 1. The layer 1 array. Line these up like this just to make it look a little pretty. Just copy all of this. Here we go. Probably going to need to drop this stuff down a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then we just gotta hook these up. Get a sip of my coffee real quick. Here we go. All our errors are clean now because this all should now work. Now all we need to do is add these boxes' current locations to their arrays, or current transforms, I should say. Let's start with layer 1. And get the scale. Cool, now do the same thing with layer 2. There we go. So now, whenever we pick our little PT boat or TP boat, whatever it is, it'll set these hitboxes to those transforms, so that way we don't need to fix the hitboxes during boat customization for this boat in particular. But now we have to do it for the other boat. So let's do the battleship next. Yep. Yup. Okay. So we're gonna need to... Let's see, currently this tries to load everything in, so let's just break this for a second, because we're not gonna really need that. But we are going to need pick boat. So let's set this to boat 1, which is our destroyer. Yep, we can see we can't even see where we're clicking, so it also seems like the arm length is not really enough. I guess I also added a relative location for no reason. I don't know what's going on there. Let's set the arm length to 1000. I don't want to go too much higher, but at the same time, not great. What if we just... Y coordinate, so maybe add 20 here. Maybe -50. Not seeing much of a difference. Maybe -100, because I just want to see more of the front of the boat. It's a little better. Maybe I should just have the camera boom be rotated 90 degrees instead, though. Go 90 degrees this way. There we go. Now we can just bring the arm back down. There we go. And then just to make sure that camera angle still works for what we need, cool. You can probably bring that arm length back down though. By 200. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So let's set our boat choice back up to 1. Try that. Okay, that still works. Let's start working on these body boxes here. So obviously we want this to be big enough to where we can see everything here. So let's just stretch this out by a massive amount. Okay, what are we looking at here? Need to go longer. That'll do. Okay, so now we just gotta stretch this out. And just bring it down. Cool. Will the player have some floating turrets? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's better to have the player be allowed more options than to be, you know, restricted. Also, this is a game jam. We don't have a lot of time to be perfectionists about this. So let's add these new coordinates to our array here. So add a new transform. Paste that. Get the rotation. Paste that. And then get the scale. And I'll paste that there. Cool. Is this set as visible? Hidden in game? Cool. So if I change this back to 0, I should see that body box go back to normal. Hey! First try. Okay, so we know that's working. That's good. Let's get layer 1 figured out. There we go. So layer 1, I want it to capture basically this first layer area here. And then the second layer box, we'll just put it here. Does that mean a turret can hide under this pillar? Yeah, but I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. Okay, let's switch this out. Just bring this in a little bit. Stretch your sides. Left to right. Bring it down just enough to where the turrets can spawn on it. There we go. Yeah, that should be all right. So now we just need to add that to our layer 1 array. So let's copy that location. Paste it there. Copy our rotation. And then our scale. And let me drink more of my coffee. It's probably gonna get cold by the time I'm done figuring all this stuff out. Oh yeah, it's already pretty close to lukewarm. I knew I probably should have prepared coffee earlier in the day, but I ended up spending most of today sleeping. It kind of sucked. I don't think we're using that anywhere, so we can get rid of that. Okay, we'll finish off that coffee after we get layer 2 set up. So layer 2 needs to be up here. Let's get our top perspective here. We'll let some stuff hover. Here-ish. This is going to be a single player arcade thing. It doesn't need to be hyper balanced. It just needs to be balanced for fun. So if some turrets are floating and that hurts someone's immersion, that's okay. It's an arcade game. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, cool. Let's bring in the size just a hair, because I don't want a player to wish they could put something right here and have it be blocked by this. Cool. So with that, we can take this location here. Excuse me. Paste that there. Get that rotation in there, get the scale. Cool. So now if we set all of these to be visible, we should be able to see that all of them are sized appropriately for the ship class that they are assigned. So let's make sure it's set to 1. We can see that everything is scaled appropriately to the ship. And if we set this back down to 0, we can see everything is still scaled appropriately to the ship it represents. That's good stuff. That's very good stuff. So now we just need to do this one more time, but for our biggest boat. The scariest boat, you might say. Sakuruza. Alright, so here's our first challenge. We have one layer here, one layer in the middle here, and one layer here. But we also have a layer up here on the pillar of the boat. I am going to ignore that. I think. Mostly because I don't want to have to add another box and hide it for the other boats. So maybe if we are fleshing this out to be something more later down the line, we'll look into that as an option. But for now, we just want to get this Game Jam project taken care of and presentable for the people who want to play it as a not finished product, but it needs to be fun for those who want to play a Game Jam game. And that's important. Ooh. That looks like it's almost on point. Need the perspective. Oh, I hate that the model does that. I don't know what's causing that. Okay, just bring it down a hair. Okay, that should be okay. Let's go ahead and copy this information over to the body box array. That rotation. And get that scale. There we go. Now just gotta do the same thing for layer 1. Layer 1 should actually be pretty easy considering we're just worried about this center area here. Let's just do that. Bring it down to size. I think that's all we really need to do for that. Oh, shoot. Nope. We gotta do a top perspective. There we go. Now we can go to the layer 1 box array and add another set of coordinates, starting with the location. Get the rotation. And finally, get the scale. Alright, one more box. This is going to be the trickiest one, actually. I might need a second box, now that I'm looking at this. I guess it doesn't hurt too much to do so. See, the issue I'm seeing here is that if we put this box and stretch it across the two, upper decks here, it'll block this middle layer box, and that's not what we need. So yeah, let's go ahead and just make a new box. Layer 3 box. And we'll get to that in a second, but let's first set up layer 2. So let's do a top perspective. Bring it down just a hair or two. Bring this down. Let's get layer 2's coordinates put in place, and then we'll start working on layer 3. We'll get that location input. Get that rotation. And finally, get that scale. Cool. So let's do this before we forget, since we are adding another layer hitbox. Check this out. Duplicate this. We'll call it the layer 3 box array. Get that there. Set relative transform. Oops, that's reset. Set relative transform. Want to get a copy. And we want it based on boat choice. Paste that last one here. Okay, let's set up box 3's location here. Start with that, shrink it in. That should be good. Check the top view. Top view seems okay, so we'll just save that. And then we'll need to add this information to its number 2 slot. So let's get the location put in. Get the rotation put in. And get the scale. Okay, now we need to change this for the other values. So let's change boat choice to 0. It's not going to reset it for me. That's kind of annoying. Where would I even hide layer 3? I guess since we don't need layer 3 for this PT boat, maybe instead of set relative transform, we can say under layer 4. I guess that is something we could do, huh? We could just hide it under the last layer. That's gonna be tough though. Here, we can just Set this to 1, 1, 1. Hide it like that. That could be something. Here, we'll hide it like that. So now we can just copy that information and put it into our array. There we go. Now we need to assign its location for the cruiser. Not the cruiser. I have it called battleship as a model, but in my array, not array, in my enumeration, I have it listed as destroyer, so I'm getting the name confused. And that's no one's fault but my own. Okay, I just want to see where those hitboxes are. Right, boat choice 1. Oh, right, I duplicated it, so layer 3 is probably right here. I mean, if that's where it is, that's not a bad place to be. Here, let's compare. 0.19, 27, 22. No, those are very different, actually. Huh. Well, it's not like we need another layer here either, so I guess we can just... let's copy the information from here. Cool. Now let's do hitbox checks. Boat choice 0, simulate. Looking good. Set the boat choice to 1. Looking good. Boat choice to 2. Not looking good. Where did the box here go? It should have been here. Did I accidentally get rid of the wrong coordinates? Is that what happened? Probably. Probably. That's okay. It's an easy fix. So we need to scale this up. And down just a hair. Scale this out. And then bring this down a hair. Something like that should be good. Okay, now we just gotta make sure we copy these coordinates into the layer 3 box array. Okay, just to make sure this works. Okay, switch the boat choices again, run through them. That looks good. That looks good. And that looks good. Cool. Let's update our notes here. Successfully implemented ship customization for all ship types. Cool. So the next thing we're going to need to do is, I think we've already set up a way to save where these are going, right? Deproject screen to the world, line trace by channel, get the transform. spawn cannons there, and add it to the array. So the one thing we haven't done is actually save those values to carry on to the next mission. So that's the next thing we're going to need to do. So let's do this. Well, first off, let's clean up the stuff we don't need anymore. We don't need this print string. We should take all this and squeeze it in a little bit. Just so that way we got some real estate we can work with. And then let's go ahead and comment on this and just call it spawn turret for ship customization. Let's give it a color so we know what it is. Okay, so there's two things I want to do here, along with, you know, saving this for when we deploy in the mission. And that is restricting what is available to the player. There's going to be a couple ways we can do this, but let's start with limiting how many turrets they can spawn, because right now they can spawn unlimited amount of ships. So let's get our ship customization widget open here. So we can see I've added a counter yesterday. So that way there is an opportunity for us to control that variable. What we're gonna need to do is obviously find a way to display or get that information. So we have these values set up, but they don't currently do anything. So let's start changing that by first making sure the torpedo count is also set up correctly. Which is as simple as grabbing this, pasting it here, duplicating this, and calling it torpedo count. Boom. Now that we see that it's set to 0, we'll see count 0, count 0, count 0. And if we change those values real quick, just for testing purposes, count 1, count 1, count 1. Cool. Just to make this align better, I think I'm just going to add some text here. So we'll say, let's call them deployable torpedoes. And instead of a space between the words, what if we just do this? Cool. So now we can just... What was giving this padding? Was it the button? Yes. Okay, yeah, now we want that. Cool. Anyway, we want to keep track of how many of these we are spawning, so that way the player has some kind of progression to work towards. So... what's going on? I'm trying to copy this and it's not letting me for some reason. Control C, Control V. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, well. Okay, I don't know. That was weird. But I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. Do this one more time. Okay, so just a refresher on what this is doing here. Whenever we click on one of these buttons, we set cannon options to a value tied to those. We then tell our boat customization actor here that they are using that number. So that way when they, you know, click on the boat and when they get the coordinates for where they clicked, this number will decide what turret is spawned at that location. and then saves that in the array. So, now that we got that settled, we need to find a way to restrict how many that the player can spawn. So what I think we're going to do is on event construct, we're going to cast to, or actually, does save game exist? And then let's open our save game to make sure we have those values established, because if we don't, we need to do that real quick. And I also need to finish this coffee because it's going to get really cold and it's going to suck. Yeah, no. It's not cold yet, but it does suck. Okay, let me try and finish this then. Oh, man. Let me wash that down with some water. Okay. Ugh. Okay, so we have single barrel cannons count, triple barrel cannons count, torpedo count. So those values are saved in our save system, which is good. That simplifies our workload quite a bit, because then now we can get a branch. And if a save game does exist, we can load game from slot. And then we can set these values. So let's get these all set up. Then we need to get our single... Oh. What did I call them? Single barrel cannons count, yeah. Oh, shoot, I skipped a step. Load game from slot, cast to boat save. Because that's the save game object that we're utilizing here. Get single barrel, not the ammo pool. Get the cannon count. Hook that up. Get triple. And just make sure we don't get our spaghetti all over the place. Get torpedo count. Gently slide that over. There we go. So now, in theory, let's set these values to be somewhat random real quick. So we'll give ourselves 5 torpedoes, 7 triple barrel cannons, and I don't know, 3 single barrel cannons. Since we changed that in the save, in theory, there, and then display it like that. And we can see 3, 7, 5, so we know this is working. So the next thing we need to do is make it to where when the player, spawns one of these things, it subtracts from our total. So just bring these in a little bit. Let's do this, just to make our lives a little bit easier. Event begin play, we create the widget and add it to our viewport, right? Slide this out just a little bit. What if, before we add it to our viewport, we promote it to a variable, and we call it our boat customization HUD. And the reason I'm doing this hold on, break all links. The reason I'm doing this is so that way I can create a custom event in the widget here and let our player communicate to that directly instead of trying to do some weird roundabout thing. So what we're going to do here is add a custom event, and we're going to say spent weapon. And what we're going to do is just kind of drag out, switch on the player weapon slots. Yes, it is. We're going to switch, not switch, select. Drop a couple pins here. We're going to get our cannon options. We don't need to do anything actually extra here. So if cannon option is 1, we'll tell the single barrel cannons to decrement. So that way we lose 1 turret. We'll do the same thing if it is option 2, the triple barrel cannons. Decrement. And then we'll do it one more time for the torpedo counts. So now, to get this to work properly, all we really need to do is drop down here, and at the end of these, we just need to get our reference to our customization HUD, cast to boat customization, and then do spent weapon. And because the boat choice is being set by the HUD itself, it shouldn't have any confusion about which one needs to be decremented. So just to make sure that that's working, we're going to dive into here. And we're going to try and get all these to 0. So let's start with our single barrel cannons. 1, 2, 3. You can see it's 0. 1, 2, 3. And that's not working. Okay, what about torpedoes? Okay, that's not working either. It's also really hard to see the torpedoes from up here, huh? We'll worry about that in a second. Oh, right, I didn't add this to here. That probably would have helped. In fact, I think what we can do is just do that, because this is universal, and we're controlling what gets subtracted in here rather than over here. So it should work. So 3 to 2, 7 to 6, 5 to... Damn it. Okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't set option 3 to torpedo. Yep, there we go. Okay, that's a little bit silly, but at least we know. Okay, so now what we need to do is make it to where if the player tries to spawn it and they don't have any left, it gets blocked. So how we're going to do that... Recast, is it this, or this? We can drag this to the side, drag this out, and then drag all of this out as well. We're gonna need this over here. Hook these up. Drag this up. we're going to need to get a branch for each of these. And we're going to ask ourselves, get single barrel cannon count. And is that count greater than 0? Because if it is, then you can spawn the turret. And if it isn't, then don't do anything. It's pretty much as simple as that can get, honestly. So we can just kind of grab this like that. Get triple barrel cannon counts. Hook that up to true. And then do that one more time for our torpedo counts. Let's test this. We'll grab our single barrel cannons. We have 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, and now we can't spawn any additional turrets. Make sure this works for the triple barrel cannons. Yep, that's working. Finally, our torpedoes. Yep. Cool, so now we have a way to restrict how many weapons the player can spawn based on what they have unlocked. So now we need to set up a way to save all this information, you know. So let's make a custom event. And we'll call it save loadout. Oops, is that already saved somewhere? Save loadout. Oh yeah, it's up there. Okay. So save loadout. Does save game exist? Yes. Load game from slot. Cast about save. Set these arrays. And I did it wrong on these last two. So just drag these down just a hair. Set triple barrel cannon counts transform array. And then do this one more time for the torpedo array. There we go. I don't think we actually need to check if save game exists, because hopefully when the player selects new game or load game in the main menu, it'll let them do that. Save loadout. Okay. So that's all set up. Okay, we need a save loadout button. Let's see. I think having it in the bottom right makes sense. Yeah, I think bottom right is going to make the most sense here. Let's do that. Let's get a button. Actually, how is our main menu laid out? Because we may just want to mimic that. Okay, that's actually pretty vanilla. Okay, so we do want a back button probably as well. So let's do that. Let's set the back button first. I think that's what we want to do. Back button is anchored to the bottom left. 75 by -150, so let's mirror that. And it is currently sized at 300 by 100, so we'll do that as well. Get some text. Line 5, 2 by 2. And we'll add just some very basic functionality here. Let's look at our main menu again. The start game, which goes to the start game widget, new game or load game. So if new game is selected, it deletes the save slot and makes a new one. Let's get rid of that. We're gonna change that in just a minute here. Yeah, if we just hit the back button, let's just make it go back to the start menu. I don't think we need to make it any more complex than that. So, actually, real quick, make sure that text is not hit testable. So unclicked, create widget, start menu, add to viewport, and finally remove from parent. I think that's all we need to do, right? Make sure all these have visible comments. Back to main menu. Click back. Main menu branch. Yeah. Okay. It's just that simple. Cool. Now, let's add another button. Bottom right hand corner. Hold on, before we do that. 300 by 100. Let's do negative 150 to match the height here. Then maybe here, maybe 380. Yeah, that should be fine. Grab some text, throw it on there. We'll call it deploy. Add the outline. Add our shadows. Pause save. Make sure the text is not hit testable, and then on deploy. Let's make sure we name these buttons so I don't get confused if we ever need to come back here. Okay, so we need a way to call this. It should be pretty straightforward, actually. All we really need to do is cast to boat, customization actor, get player character, save loadout, and then open level by name, map 1. So now we should be able to test if this works, in theory. So, first off, let's make sure we have the player boat open as well. Everything's still hooked up. Pause menu. Okay. We'll spawn there, we'll spawn there, and we'll spawn there. Right. Deploy. Oh boy. Okay, we got some issues, but I think I know what's causing them, so let's start small. Boat customization actor is currently set to 2, but boat save is currently set to 0. So that's our first issue. We're not saving the boat that we chose. So that's an easy fix. Just stretch this out. Let's go ahead and do some cleaning up here as well. So set boat choice. Then we'll just double click here and hook that up. Drag this out a little further, double click here, hook that up. And then double click here, that up. Then double click here, line that up. Transfer this. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm not entirely sure why that's not working. Boat choice, boat choice. Set boat choice to that. Pick boat. We can get rid of that clamp and just do this. TP boat destroy cruiser. Interesting. Deploy. Cast boat customization actor save loadout. What if we had a small delay here? Maybe it's trying to do both of these at the same time. It shouldn't be the reason, but we can certainly test it. Okay, that's not the reason. Let's go to... We're currently in the menu level, so let's go to map 1. Make sure that the world override is combat game mode. Make sure the pawn is player boat, boat controller. The boat controller is not controlling what boat can spawn, right? No, I didn't think so. Then begin play, load the boat control HUD. Well, it's loading the HUD correctly. That's the good news. Okay. Does save game exist? Yes. Oh, wait, actually. Okay, yeah, it is loading save. Load save. Does it exist? Yes, it does. Cast to the boat, save slot. Set the boat choice from the save slot to be the current boat choice. Okay, so that's set up. And when you do that, pick the boat. So this is how you pick the boat. You switch on enumeration. 0 is TP boat, 1 destroyer, 2 is cruiser. Pick TP boat, PT boat, battleship, cruiser. Set your camera lengths. Set relative locations. Once you're done with that, then you can start spawning the turrets if you have turrets. Everything looks like it should be what it needs to be. Oh, you know what I'm probably missing? Save game to slot. Actually save the thing for me, please. Oops. Gotta go back to the main menu. Good news, the boat changed. Why is it flying, though? What is causing it to fly? Here, let's delete my save slot real quick. Save games, delete slot 1. Okay, let's pretend I just want to be a cruiser. I don't want any weapons. Okay, that's not working now. Interesting. Oh, you know why? Does save game exist? If not, just make a save game and save the slot. We don't want that in the player. The player is not responsible for making sure that the game has a save slot. Uh-oh, I think I just crashed Unreal. Okay, no, we're still here. We're still here. Okay, cool. Let's just expand this out then. Well, I guess the other thing we're not taking into account here is hold on, let me just hook this back up. One thing we're doing that's a little silly is we're testing it not from the main menu, but right from boat customization, which is not the intent. So we need to change a couple things to make this work. So how to start this? Let's do this. Instead of doing all this on event begin play, right? Break this. And we'll say custom event, start customization. And then for the actual event begin play, we'll create a widget. Main menu, add to viewport. And then we'll see how this works real quick. So we got our ship here. We'll start a game. We don't have a save, so we'll start a new game. And the new game button doesn't work because I unplugged something and didn't plug anything back into it. Because if you remember earlier, originally the new game button took us to gameplay right away. It no longer does that. So what we need to do is cast to bt_boat customization, get player character, and start oh wait, I'm casting to the heads up display. That's not what I want. Cast to boat customization actor. That's what I wanted. Start customization. There we go. Except we forgot to remove from parent. Oh, Jesus. Oh, there's this guy. Thanks again for the raid. I didn't expect to see you back so soon already. Thank you for dropping by. We're currently polishing up our menus for our game. Oh, right. Probably should explain that, huh? We're still participating in the 10-day game jam called Vtuber Tiny Jam 2026. Our project is a boat combat game where the gimmick is you can add turrets anywhere on your boat. Right now we're polishing up that mechanic and also setting up our menus so that So that way, the player can go from main menu to ship customization to mission deployment. That's what we're working on right now. So you can see this is our main menu. Start game, it checks if you have a save. We're going to say we don't have one. And now we can jump right into ship customization. We can add our weapons like so. And when we hit deploy, yeah, you can see we're still having some issues, but it is almost what we need. So we're working it out. We'll get there. Last time I was here, I don't think a main menu was even developed yet. Yeah, I think we did the main menu either yesterday or day before. I think it was day before, because yesterday we were struggling getting the ship customization to even function, because I was getting nat 1s on my perception check on my own blueprint scripting. So that was rough. Okay. So I think the reason why our boat is flying when we enter the actual gameplay is because if we look at how our boat loads, you know, the transforms for our turrets, right? It pulls it from the array, which is pulled from the same save. We're doing declare owner on the turrets themselves, and we're not actually we're using a world scale and direct coordinates. So I think what we need to do to just fix this is to break all this up, recombine struct pins, slap that in together. Bear was rolling that ones on my end, but for intelligence checks, oof, that's tough, man. Okay, this should work. Just to make sure it rolls a little more smoothly, though, we'll just make sure our turrets don't have any kind of collision. I don't think the point light has a collision, which is good. Let's try this again. Okay, we're still flying. Oh, the turret spawned beneath? Interesting, so we're having another issue here. So we're doing this in turret parent, so we need to make sure that the other weapon scripts are doing the same thing here. Okay, so that one just has the shooting mechanics. It should be following the same rules as parent turret. And add a helicarrier DLC. Believe it or not, I don't think I explained this when you were here last either, but this game was inspired by a buddy of mine. He said that he remembered a game called Naval Ops Warship Gunner from 2003. And it actually does have an aircraft carrier that can deploy like NPC aircraft to fight for you. I don't even know how to begin on how Unreal handles flying NPCs, so I chose not to incorporate that for this game jam, but who knows. If it makes sense to continue working on this project after the fact, using what I've got built here already, then perhaps I'll give that a whirl, because I do want to learn how that works in Unreal, and that's why I do these game jams. But we'll see. We will definitely see in time. Okay, so set relative transform should be working as intended. Let's see. Always spawn, ignore collisions. Yeah, that should be all it needs. We'll just spawn one and see what happens. Okay, so that one spawned inside this boat and at the wrong scale. So why is it ignoring the transform? Is it because there's already a default value saved? Yes, it is because there's already a default value saved. Get rid of those. Okay. And then just in case, we'll also delete my save one more time. There we go. Okay. Save everything. All right. New game. Start. New game. Give me one triple barrel cannon at the front, one single barrel cannon at the rear, and one torpedo on the middle. And we're flying. And it looks like everything spawned in the middle again. So what's going on here? Let's add a print string at the end here. Set it for 30 seconds. And I want you to print your transforms, please. New game. Give me a single barrel cannon here, a triple barrel cannon here, and our torpedo in the back. Okay, so the issue is that it's not actually applying the transforms that we're saving. So let's trace back our method here. Save loadout. Load game from slot. Slot 1. Cast a boat save. Set. Oh, hold on. Prior to that. Left mouse button. We can turn off visibility on this line trace for now. Set the coordinates. We know those are working. Spawn the actor. We know that's working. And make array. There's the transforms array. And then once that's done and we save our loadout, we take our array and save it to the boat save, boat choice, save game to slot. And we know this is saving because it is spawning the number of turrets that we want, and it is remembering the boat that we chose. It's just not loading it correctly. That might be what we need to look at next. So if we go to player boat, after we pick our boat, I'm gonna head off, but I'll definitely check back in later. All right, once again, thanks again for the raid. Really appreciate it. See you around, Ursa. All right, so if our single barrel cannon count is greater than 0, we do a for loop. That might be why. Spawning, and then during the declare owner stage, it's trying to reset its relative transform on its own, based on its own coordinates. So maybe that's what we need to change. So let's break this link for now until we can confirm this. But can we recombine struct pin, spawn transform, do this. Declare owner, attach to actor, yada yada. So we'll spawn some single barrel turrets, we'll spawn some triple barrels, and we'll spawn some torpedoes in the back. Okay. So our single barrel cannon spawned at the wrong size. Let's hook this all up just to make sure. One here, one here. Okay. I wonder if the attach actor to component is causing this issue. Just in case, I'm going to break that link. I hope that's not what the issue is. I kind of hope that they just kind of attach on their own, but we'll find out. Okay. Interesting. The triple barrel cannon I see is not in the right position. Can I maybe... It is spawn transform, which is a world transform. So what if I break this and reattach our declare stuff here. Player boat failed to compile. There we go. We'll just spawn one turret. Okay, it's still remembering our array because my save is still active. So let's delete my save. Try again. Add a turret here. Deploy. That looks like the triple barrel cannon, doesn't it? Because it is the triple barrel cannon. Need to delete my save. Oh, you know why that's having an issue? It's checking the count for this. So I wonder if there's a way to get the count of the array instead of counting the count for the cannons. If that makes sense. Let's set this to 0 as well. Break this link. Get, or maybe just index. Last index. There we go. Let's see if that changes anything. Let's keep that in there just in case as well. Okay, so let's spawn some single barrel cannons. Okay, so that did fix the spawning of that single barrel turret. I don't know why this triple barrel turret keeps spawning. Probably in the save. Okay, I think I've got it now, because this worked. So our issue was that it was looping based on how many cannons we owned rather than, you know, the index of our array. So we're going to need to do two things. One, we need to convert our formulas over to this index counter. And then number two, we're going to need to make sure that during boat customization that we reset the array during our save. Which does mean that we potentially need to delete the player's loadout every time, but we can probably set up a temporary save for that as well. So let's just make a custom event. We'll call it reset loadout. I said reset loadout. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to load the game from slot. And we're going to set single barrel cannon transforms array. Make array. Just make it 0, I think. Or might be easier to just go get single barrel cannons transforms array and reset. Nope. Ooh. Let's just do remove items. Okay, that's not gonna work for some reason. Maybe if we do this. remove item. Remove index. Get last index. Get ourselves a for loop. Okay, so basically, when we reset our loadouts, we check if there's a save, and if there's a save, we're going to start looping through each value in here and remove the item. Once that's done, we need to do this again, but for the next set of items. So we need to potentially also do that for this, but we'll come back to that. So get triple barrel cannons transforms array. And then do this one more time for the torpedo transforms array. Okay. So after we pick our boat, we want to reset loadout. So let's check if that works. Start new game. 1, 2, and 1, 2. I only see one of our single barrel turrets, and I don't see our rear turrets. Oh, you know what? I didn't fix the spawning method on the actual player boat. Actually, I also didn't check if this attach actor does anything. Let's do that real quick. Just 1, 2. We see at least one of our turrets on the front, so if we press forward, we leave them behind. Okay, so we do need this to work. Oh no, that turret did not spawn in the right spot. Then again, it is doing a relative transform based on itself, like I said earlier, and I forgot to fix that. So we can just drag this out and say set relative transform. Hopefully that's going to be relative to the ship itself and not the other thing. And then we can disconnect this just to ensure that we don't cause any more conflicting issues. I don't see our turret. It is somewhere on here. I'm not sure where it is. I think it's in here. I'm not sure. Here, let's boat save, boat choice, 0, boat customization. Let's set it back to 0 just to see. Set 2 single turrets there. The turrets are spawned in the middle. That's interesting. Maybe what we need to do is we're doing the relative transform before we do the attach actor stuff. Maybe we need to attach the actor and then set our transforms. So let's try that. Doing this should be all we need to do. I don't think it saved our turret that time. That's not good. 1, 2, 3. Yep, something's not working now. I think the turrets are spawned in the middle again because of the attach actor component. Let's break that for a second, just see if it spawns in the right place. I only see one turret, despite me spawning 2, so that's not great. Then we leave that turret behind. Attach actor to component. Put this back to normal for just a second. Infinite loop detected. Oh, shoot. That should fix it. 2, 3. I spawned 3 turrets, and they seem to have spawned inside the center of the boat, and it also seems to only have spawned 1. Okay, let's try and just get the other turret stuff working first. So we can just drag this down. Last index. Break this, split this. Last index, slide that up here. Oops, down here. Okay, so the triple barrel cannon should not spawn anymore unless we call upon it. Oh, suddenly the single barrel turret kind of works where it's at. It's not where I said I wanted it, but that is better than before. So the next question becomes, if we go to the gameplay level, which is map 1, and set this to, I don't know, 0, 0, does that help align our turrets better? I doubt it, but it could be something. So let's go back to our menu level. Start game, new game. 1, 2, 3. I think it only spawned 1 turret. 1, 2, 3. Interesting positioning. Okay. Why would it do that? Let's get our torpedo actor. Our torpedo's been looking kind of small for a while now. We might need to change that. Let's see, we set that as 0.1. 1, 1. What if we set torpedo back to 1? Ah, that's why we shrunk it so much, huh? Our turrets are not spawning the right amount, nor are they spawning in the right place, which is kind of annoying. First index should be 0 here, as is down there. Make sure that torpedo is also no collision. Triple barrel cannon spawned way too big. What did we do differently that made the triple barrel cannon spawn bigger than the single barrel cannon? Default route scene 111. Default route scene 111. .1 across the board there. Set this to 0.5. Oh, we didn't set... Yeah, right. So let's... drag these out. We're doing that before the declare owner, so let's do that. Do the same thing over here. Hook that up. Why are you still gigantic? Oh, right, this. Break this as well. Okay, so it's relatively far from where our boat should be, which tells me our player boat might actually be the issue, or the mesh is spawning. So if we go back to boat customization and just copy this information, that might fix it. Keyword is might, but you never know. Nope, not quite. There's more to it than that. 25 and 10. Let's just make sure this is mirrored as much as possible. Oops. 25 and 10. I said 25 and 10. Thank you. Okay, and it still works, so that's good. What else could possibly be going wrong here? Rotation? Maybe the rotation's off? 270 degrees? 270 degrees. Size is 0.1. Size is 0.1. Let's put these next to each other. Can't think of why else this would be off so much. Let's just see if it's off for... Where is it off for everything? So let's put one in the corner here. One in the corner here. One in the corner here. Okay, so the torpedo is way off the boat. And the single barrel and double barrel cannons are spawning in the same spots. Which tells me it might have something to do with that attach actor to component thing. Oh, well, the torpedo's not even hooked up to that, so yeah, probably. Let's see, if I put a torpedo here and a torpedo here, where do they spawn? In this same spot. So it has something to do with that. So is there maybe an attach... Nope. Attach. Maybe I want to do attach actor to actor and then do everything keep relative. We'll test it with the torpedo. So the parent actor will be self. And look that up. One here, one here. I only see one torpedo, and it's not in the right spot, so... And that was the torpedo. Maybe snap to target? Well, now the torpedo is not at all where it needs to be. Here, instead of doing it on that torpedo, let's try and do it here. We did that after the declare owner, so let's do that. Let's be consistent there. Okay, so get a reference to self. Keep relative. Let's do keep world. I want one there and one there. Go. Okay, neither are there. They are in the boat. Or maybe not. Hold on. Set everything to keep world. The turret is spawned somewhere. It's under the ground. Okay, what about keep relative? Okay, so it's relatively off base now. Snap to target? Okay, now it's in the boat again. Keep world. Okay. Let's try something a little silly. What if Perchance. The transforms are being affected by this spawn, player spawn. It's not at 0, 0. So what if we do that? Oh, and then keep relative. One here, one here. Go. I only see one turret. Here, do me a favor and print a string. How many turrets am I actually spawning here? Only one. Only one is spawning. Why is only one spawning? First index 0. Last index is the last index. So it should be looping through this several times. That could be why. Ah, man. Have I been doing this wrong the whole time? Okay, basically, I wasn't actually adding values to the array. I was just doing nothing, essentially. So, truth be told, it needs to look like this. Not set array, because what we were doing essentially was adding only value 0 to the array when we want 0, 1, 2, so on and so forth, depending on how many turrets we spawn. So, thank God we were even testing for that in the first place. Because otherwise, we could have almost released the game like that. So just do this. And then do that one more time for the torpedoes. All right, let's see if that's actually working. 1, 2, 3. Now we have 3 turrets. I wonder if the other issue, though, is that, you know, our boat is spawning in the air and then dropping down. I wonder if that's also contributing to this issue. So what if I add a slight delay to our spawning method here? No. Okay, so the way we're spawning is not actually contributing to why those turrets are in the air. At least we know that much now. What if we do... we set the half height capsule on the player start. Something like that, maybe. Oh, we're not even in the right level. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so the transform is too high. But why? Oh, hello?
Bonjour.
Hello there. How's it going?
Pretty good.
We are bug fixing the turret customization right now. We got a main menu working. It lets you make a new game and load your save. Our current issue is you can set up your turrets wherever you want, but when you load into the mission, well, the triple barrel cannons did not spawn, so that's also concerning. But the cannons are spawning way too high now, and I'm not entirely sure what caused that. So that's what we're looking into. It should be easy to... Yeah, keep it 0. What if we just lower this to, I don't know, 100? Okay, let's pretend this is set to 0. What does that do for us? Doesn't do much, apparently. So it has nothing to do with the box array, which is the good news. Bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, so something else is causing our guns to spawn like too high. So what if we nope, that's not what I want. Why won't you let me do subtractions? Okay, let's make sure the other weapons can spawn correctly, and then we'll try and tweak it more from there. Ah, that's right, we didn't actually implement actor to actor on here. Let's get that triple barrel cannon added. One here, one here, one here. Yeah, they're all spawning at the right X and Y's, they're just not spawning at the right Z value. If I lower this, will that change anything? Let's do something crazy, right? Let's do keyboard events. Can I do numpad 0? Is that something I can do? Num 0, here we go. So on numpad 0, we will flip-flop between having the camera boons rotation. Be copy this 180 negative 90 by negative 90. And Z0. That is not what I meant. Okay. Keep this at negative 90. Maybe I need this at 0. Okay. Okay. Positive 90. Okay. 45 degrees. How about 180? There we go. Okay, it is spawning at the right height. So why is it changing it there? Okay, hold on. So it's spawning at the world transform. So what if we go back to our thing here? Whoops. Recombine. Recombine. Let's test that with the torpedoes. Nope, it's still spawning in the air. Well, I guess also because we're adding this. So what if we break that, just skip it, and then do full transforms. Mr. Lemon Rice, thanks for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Alright, let's try that again. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wait. Can't read that. Oh, we reached our follower goal of 30 followers. I forgot that was a thing. Yeah, thanks to everyone who are following to get us here. Wow. I don't have words. We're working on a game still, so. All right. What were we doing again? Yeah, testing the spawn stuff. Where did we do this? Okay, so what we're trying to do is just fix the fact that the torpedoes are spawning, well, everything is spawning above the target, even though we can clearly see they're spawning on the surface of the boat. But when we load into the level, they're spawning above like this. So we tried using their actual transforms when they spawn to get that corrected, which evidently did not work. Yeah, nothing here would have fixed that. Is that Unreal Engine? Yes, this is Unreal Engine version 4.27. I can't run Unreal Engine 5 on my desktop right now, so this is what we're working on. Let's see. Let's just test if this is the same for all of these real quick. If I recombine these structs like so. So that's how it looks like. Yeah, well, at least this is what it looks like for people like me who use blueprints for all the scripting. There are people who use like C++, or is it C#? I can't remember. I think it's C++, but they use that for their programming, and it kind of looks more akin to your typical code base. Greetings from Japan. Hajimemashite, yokoso desu. Shoken desu. Okay, I totally misread that. I use a translation device, but I want to become friends with English VTubers. Well, that's pretty ambitious of you. I actually just came back from a trip to Japan just a month ago too, so it's kind of interesting to hear that there are people in Japan who are tuning in. Seriously, why are these turrets spawning so high in the air?
Are they possibly spawning where the camera is?
Negative. So
Okay.
just to walk you through how it's working, because maybe you'll see something that I'm missing.
Unlikely, but let's see.
Yeah, right. So when you're in the ship customization menu and you click left mouse button, it'll ask your heads-up display, did you click a button to select a turret? And I'll walk through this a little bit. So if I click the single barrel cannon and then I click anywhere in the world, it's going to cast a laser point down and spawn the turret at where I clicked. And you can see even when I go from a side angle, it's even taking into account the up-down position. And that gets saved through this node here called make transform. And that transform is then given to the turret, so it spawns at that location. But it also then takes that exact same value and ports it to our array, which is basically like a little storage cube of information. Then, when we load into the level for combat, and we load our save, it pulls that information from that little information box for each entry that's in there, spawns it at that location, and then just keeps it relative to the boat actor that we got going on. That should be how everything is working.
Is that like information box like translating it a different way than what the original data is set to? Causing there to be a
There
shift?
is a slight change, but I'm not sure if that's what's going on because our impact point is where the mouse landed, right? And therefore it uses that location to make the transform, and a transform controls location, rotation, scale. And we know that it's saving the same information because when we do our example test here, right? We spawn the turret. It spawns, X number of units in front of our windows here. And when we deploy, it's spawning the same distance away from the window. It's just spawning way too high. And I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that. Something we can try to do to remedy this issue, it's gonna look a little hacky, so apologies in advance for what you're about to witness. We could take our transform and break transform, and then do location vector minus vector. This is gonna get ugly very, very fast. Okay, so drag this to the side. Subtract the Z units by about 100. Make a new transform. Based on that information. Keep the rotation, keep the scale, and then plug that in.
It is so hard to follow with such a long delay.
I know. You're in the Discord call. Oh, actually, maybe I can stream to Discord real quick just to make it easier.
Also, is it possible that it's saving on a different level of the mesh when between
between the two actors?
Yeah.
It shouldn't, because
it looks like it's spawning the turrets at about the height of your camera when you're in the blueprint mode.
No, I think we're higher than that. Here, if I spawn it way out here. Oh shoot, it can spawn way out there. Okay, well, that's okay. Floating turrets. Yeah, the coordinates should be based on where I clicked. Because not here. Here. It's getting the location based on where this line is tracing to. Impact point. Location of the actual contact point of the trace shape with the surface of the hit objects. Well.
Oh, so it's not the hitbox of it, it's the surface.
Yeah, surface of the hit object.
Okay.
So one thing I'm going to try now is...
And it no longer thinks that it's a big old square, right?
No, it no longer thinks it's a big old square. I made custom squares that dynamically reshape their size based on what boat they're spawned with.
Okay.
But here's what we're going to test now. I added this little formula here. Basically, when it loads the information about the location the turret should spawn, it's going to subtract 100 units from the up-down value. And then we'll go from there. Water particles could be God. Could be. I barely understand Unreal's particle system because I haven't really done much research on it. So that may not be a thing we do for this game jam, but maybe for the next game jam. Anywho, let's test if my hacky solution works. So we'll spawn a turret here, here, and back here. Oh, it kind of works. It kind of works. So the next thing we want to test, first of all, let's decrease that subtraction by 20. But the next thing we want to test is it going to take into account the elevations of the boat as well? Because with the PT boat here, there's 3 layers of heights that the turrets can spawn on. So we have our basic boat body, we have the slight incline here, and then we have the top of the boat. And you can see different heights across here. Oh, it works. I got the height. Yes. Oh no, now the shooting mechanic is being weird. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. We need to apply this formula to everything else now. Man, my life is just formulas and formulas right now. Let's drop these down. Back this up. Back this to the left. Copy all of that. Oh, you know what's another thing I haven't done yet, Joe? I haven't figured out a method to launch torpedoes yet. That's the other thing I need to do.
For that, maybe when the shot is shot, it runs at the level, or at the level of the water, but like up a couple pixels.
Makes sense. Or maybe I can just put some what do I want to, how do I want to explain this to you? Basically, I can add invisible information blocks on the model itself and say, hey, spawn the torpedo projectile here. So that way it doesn't collide with the boat itself, but also we can make it to where the torpedoes that you put on the boat disappear when you fire. So that way you get the sensation of you're firing torpedoes. I don't know if I explained that very well, but it makes sense to me, and I'm the one making it, so I'm going to do my best to do that.
By all means.
Alright, so let's just make sure that the 3 heights work for all our weapons here. Yep. Okay, so the shooting mechanic wasn't busted. I think the turrets just realized they were aiming at the ship and decided not to shoot. So that's good news. Okay. I should note down our successes because I have not been doing that. Implement ship customization for all ship types. Fixed turret placements on level start. Save loadout. Yeah, before deployment. Reset loadout at ship customization screen. Was there anything else that we did? Well, I mean, there was a lot that we did, but I don't know if it's all worth noting. Okay, let's see. Let's get the torpedoes working, since that is, in my mind, it should be easy. Emphasis on in my mind. And then we'll go from there. So we need to open up the torpedo display. Event shoot. Are you reloading? No. Torpedo pool, set hidden in game. Oh, I already set up all this. What? Oh, wait, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I did not. I didn't set this up correctly, is what I should say. So we're gonna need to go into our boat models for this. We'll add a socket and call it a torpedo bay. No, that's not what I want to do, because now that I'm thinking a little bit about it. So my method would work if we were only shooting torpedoes in one direction, but I don't think that's what we want to do, right? We want to be able to shoot torpedoes in the direction we're facing. Like camera-wise? Joe?
Pardon?
When we fire torpedoes, we want to be able to fire torpedoes where the camera is facing, right? Not necessarily just the front of the ship.
It depends on how you have them modeled.
They are currently modeled like so.
Okay. So that looks like it'd just be kind of like shoved over the side to launch. So straight.
So straight. Okay, straight does work. And then would it make sense to fire it from the sides of the ship, regardless of where it is on the boat, or from the front of the ship?
So usually torpedoes are launched from like torpedo tubes,
Which are usually
sometimes
inside the ship, right? On the front or in the sides?
It depends. Usually they are like, okay, on larger ships, they are like independently mounted turrets, essentially. And on PT boats, they're also usually just like attached to the side, like aimed forward so that they go in the same direction as the boat.
Okay.
Internal tubes, I think you're more thinking of like with submarines.
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking of submarines.
Yeah. It's like with surface mounted or launched torpedoes, they're a little bit more generous.
Okay. So
They kind of just like have explosive charges or compressed air or gas that launch them out of the front of the tube, and then the internal propulsion kicks in to actually propel the torpedoes.
Gotcha. Okay. Then I think I'll just add a torpedo bay socket at the front of the boat, just have the torpedoes launch there, and we'll just test how that works. So, we're going to need to do some funny business here. Comparison of integrals never has a low function. I'm sorry, Noam. I have no idea what that means. I think it's because I'm missing context, if I'm being honest, but I'm a little confused. Cast to player boat. Let's set up the torpedo firing location. Get... What did I call it? Mesh. It's literally just called mesh. Okay, well. Get mesh. Get component mesh. What is going on in here? It's basically AI context. Okay. Let's see. Get child component mesh. There we go. That's what I needed. But not that. Get transform. Get world transform. World. Oh, get socket transform. That's what I need. Plug that in there. So in theory, yeah, real-time position world. Torpedo bay. Torpedo bay. Okay, so in theory, if we have torpedo ammo, it should fire correctly. So let's give ourselves 5 bullets. Bullets? Oh, 5 torpedoes. And let's put these torpedoes in random positions just so we can make sure that they're firing correctly. Oh, I need to be using the right boat too if I'm going to be testing this, so bear with me. Boat choice. We want to set that to 1. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh no. Okay. I don't know what went wrong there. Something went horribly wrong there. Okay, so the mesh is currently at 0.1 by 0.1 by 0.1. So if we just set the socket to that same value, will that fix our issue? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no. It's certainly better. It's certainly better. But it could be even better. Okay. Okay. So first off, we need to rotate this 90 degrees this way, I think. Try again. Why is it so big? Okay, what if we do 0.01? What if we try that? I mean, it's better, but now that torpedo's all kinds of warped. Why is it warped so badly? Has nothing to do with how we're loading the boats, does it? No? Or at the very least, it shouldn't be. Just try this one more time. Oh my goodness. Okay. 0.1. Not 0.1. 0.01. Let's leave the Z as 0.1. Maybe that's why it's stretching so much. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. 0.05 maybe? Okay, so the next thing we're facing here is that we forgot to set a trigger for the torpedoes actually reloading. So let's do that real quick. So now in theory, when we fire, that torpedo should go invisible. It did not. What am I doing wrong? Is it reloading? No. Get the ammo pool. Is the ammo pool greater than 0? If yes, fire or set the torpedo hidden in game. Oh, I didn't check it. Set it to actually be hidden in game. Fire the torpedo at the socket location. And set reloading to true after you decrement the ammo. After 15 seconds, make it no longer hidden in game and set reloading to false. Cool. So if we fire the torpedo now, it goes invisible. We can't shoot until it reappears, which is 15 seconds, which feels like an eternity. I should have started counting down. Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay, torpedoes work.
Such a slow pew.
It's a very slow pew. Okay, let's go to our torpedo, actual torpedo projectile and see if we can tweak that real quick. I keep clicking on the wrong folder. Here we go. So it's currently moving at 400. What if we bump that up to, I don't know, 800? That's basically double speed. I mean, that's faster. Kind of scary. I'm trying to keep into account that the player needs to be able to react to this too. We should also add a delay so that way when this fires the second torpedo, it's not combining two torpedoes into one shot or firing two torpedoes at once. So not this one, but this one. Let's see. Get all actors with player. Loop. For each loop, do this. Oh, how to do this. Maybe I should just have the torpedoes be just an ammo resource. And if you, as long as you have one, you get that resource. And let's come back to that. There are more important systems we need to work on. We'll just add that to tomorrow's to-do. Resolve torpedo launch dilemma. All torpedoes fire at the same time. There we go. Fix torpedo launch position. Okay, let's work on the enemy AI. That's something we haven't done. So yeah, we haven't even touched the enemies in forever. Let's start with the PT boats. You don't need either of these. Then begin play. This is just letting it wander wherever, which is not what we want. We want it to move towards the player. So let's do get player character. And then we'll set the acceptance radius to, I don't know, 200. I don't know if that's a lot of space if we're a bigger boat, but it's something. And then we'll make a custom event. Fire. How do we want to do this? I think I have some notes on what they're supposed to do at the top here. Enemy types. Boats. Harassers who shoot torpedoes at close range. Is that all they do? The PT boats?
Pretty much. At least
So
in the virtual.
They don't have guns, it's just torpedoes?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, then let me get the PT boat model and let's add that torpedo bay. Torpedo bay. Make sure that all these are the same. 0.01, 0.01 to 0.05, I think is what we ended up on. Slide that to the, excuse you. Slide that to the nose of the boat. So then what we'll do is we will add child actor. We'll have two of these. We'll call them Torpedo 1 and Torpedo 2. There we go. So we'll put Torpedo 1 on the right-hand side. put torpedo 2 on the left-hand side. This one is 385, so maybe negative 385. There we go, that's our enemy. And then just to make sure players know it's hostile, because of course another boat on the sea must declare that it's hostile, right? Always. We'll give it an evil red light. I don't know how visible that's going to be, but we'll find out later. Okay, so let's change its behavior. So set, nope. Nope. Find look at rotation. Here we go. We want it to look at the player. So get world rotation, or not rotation, world location. Get world location. I don't know why it's making me do it this way, but I'm not going to argue. Set world rotation. Do I need to do get actor? Is that what I'm doing wrong? Get actor location. Yeah, okay, well, that's fair. Get actor location. Set actor rotation. And then we'll add a flip-flop. We're going to get torpedo 1, get child actor, cast to torpedo display, and is it shoot? Yeah, shoot. So there's something we need to tweak, because right now torpedo display only cares about where the player character is looking. So let's just add an input here. Hold on, there's another way we can do this. Drag this up here. We need to, at event begin play. Here, we'll break this. We're gonna need this. Declare owner. The owner will be TP boat. No, wait, nah, we don't. This is tough. Tell you what, Yeah, let's just make it a separate event. That just happens to plug into the same place. So we'll add a custom event. We'll call it AI shoot. Grab all that. And then instead of casting to the player boat, we're going to cast to pt_boats. And then from here, we need AI shoot to have an input. We'll call it owner. Make it an object reference. Actually, actor reference would be better. Actor object reference. Plug it in like that. Get mesh. Okay, get component mesh. And then spawn a torpedo. Cool. So now we don't need to worry about ammo pool. At the same time, though, doing just that should work. Cool. So now that we got that figured out, AI_shoot. Get a reference to self for the owner, and then just do the same thing, but for torpedo 2. And that is how we'll stop the AI from firing 2 torpedoes at the player every single time they want to shoot. Once that's done, trigger event. I know I have a custom event called move. Problem. There it is, call function move. Okay, so now if we want to test this, we need to go to our blueprints, go to our game mode. And currently we have start wave being a custom event that has no triggers unless the player hits a hotkey that I set for myself. So let's call it event begin play. We'll add a small delay of 1 second, and on completion, start wave. So on start wave, it will increase the wave count from 0 to 1. It'll say we need to spawn 3 boats. Oh, I also need to put enemy spawners in the world. That might also help. So save all this. Do we have any enemy actors spawners? We do. Okay, so let's just test this now. We have our boat with our torpedoes. Okay, 3 boats just spawned somewhere. Oh, it didn't spawn the right thing. It spawned the test boats that we were doing ages ago. So what we need to do is enemies, enemy spawner actor. Replace that with PT boats. Okay, round 2. Okay, 3 boats just spawned. That is not the right boat. That is straight up not the right boat. What? Or was it the right boat at the wrong size? Is that what might have happened? 0.1. Oh yeah, that was it. Silly me. We can get rid of this static mesh. Let's mirror this as much as we can. There we go. Then just drop this down. Set that to 15. That's at negative 39, so then we could just put this at 39. Okay, I see a boat in the distance. We're gonna head towards it. I should probably move these spawners closer so I can test faster. I don't think it's moving. Yeah, let me come to a stop. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's moving. Did we not add a, Oh, it might help if I actually tell it to move when it spawns, huh? Function, move. And then just to make sure we tick all our boxes here, placed in the world to respond, and we want to make sure that there is a nav mesh active. There we go. Cool. So let's move these spawning actors a little closer. Okay, I see one. There's the other boat. It moves, it's moving towards us. Okay, so 200 is way too close. They're not even trying to fire, they're just trying to get in my boat now. Did it fire a torpedo? Okay, well, let's fix some of that first. So let's make the acceptance radiance 1000 and see how close that is to us. Because we are a bigger boat right now, so probably harder for them to decide if they need to shoot or not. We'll slow down our ship. I think it's stuck now. Yeah, something's not going right with how they're shooting. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We know something's breaking down here. So we'll print a string here that says fire. And then we'll print another string in the torpedo display saying shoot. Yeah, that boat's closer, so we'll just wait for him. Okay, so seems like things are breaking down even before they do their cast here. Oh. You know what might actually help? If when they successfully reach their target, they're actually told to shoot instead of just, I have instructions to shoot, but I don't know when they come up. That may or may not be helpful for our poor boats here. All right, let's try that again. We'll start drifting towards the closer boat here. All right, start hitting the brakes. Oh no. Full auto. Okay, so I think our issue is AI like to operate on tick, which is basically every time your game runs a frame. And it is continuously saying, I succeeded. I'm going to fire again. And it's ignoring our cooldown for whatever reason. AI shoot. Oh, it's ignoring our cooldown because we forgot to put it back in. So that might also help. But we can also make sure that they're not trying to do that consistently as well. And okay, so now when the AI tries to shoot, it's going to ask, hey, torpedo, are you currently reloading? Which is handled by this timer down here, which takes 15 seconds. And then when 15 seconds go by, it'll say we're not reloading anymore. So that'll give the cooldown. We also need to fix where that torpedo bay is. We need to rotate it 90 degrees. There we go. And then finally, we want these boats to be harassers. So when they successfully fire, we want them to move in a random place. So we'll create another custom event, and we'll call it scatter. And we're going to do AI move to. Get a reference to self. And then get random point in navigable radius. The origin point will, of course, be where its current location is. If you don't check if you are reloading, you won't check if you're reloading. Yes, thank you, Awen.
Thanks, Awen.
All right, let's make them scatter 10,000 units away from the player. And then on successful scatter, we will make them start moving back towards the player. Cool. So now we just got to replace, after successfully firing your torpedo, you will scatter. Let me get a sip of water. Alright, there they spawn. And there he goes. Now let's just make sure that he comes back. Oh, 5,000 units is not very far, is it? Well, at least that's working. At least that's working. And we can even see the torpedoes are disappearing on the boats, so we know that that's handling that correctly as well. So 10,000 units is actually a lot closer than it looks because we're a big, big, big battleship, which is making me wonder if maybe the battleship is way too big, but it's fine. We'll set it to 100,000. Cool. So the PT boats are now pretty much, I say pretty much done. There's one more thing we need to do. The rotation speed might need a bit increased. So the reason why their rotation speed increases when they're ready to fire is because I literally tell them to snap. When I probably don't have to because they're facing the player when they're approaching. So I'm pretty sure if I do this, it'll work just as well. There will be a chance that they miss the player because, you know, if you're holding right, you'll kind of slide sideways a little bit. You know, it's not clean turning, but we'll see. Okay, he fired fine. He fired fine. Yeah, I guess we don't need it. Cool. Because there's a section where they're drifting in your direction. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so something that we need to do, and I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to think about it, is we don't have health and damage per se, and we also don't have hitboxes for combat, so we need to set those up real quick. So for this, we'll just create a box collision for the AI and call it hurtbox. Make sure it covers everything the best we can. And then we'll make sure that this doesn't, it's only overlap all dynamic. And then we need to do an, wow, I need to organize the hell out of this. Event begin play. This one is move to player. This is shoot the player. This is run from player. And this has nothing to do with anything. So we're gonna get rid of that. Yeah, that has nothing to do with anything. Cool. So now we need to do one more custom event in here. Not custom event. Events any damage. Here we go. So we need to add a float called health. And we need to set health equal to health minus damage. And then do a branch here. And if health is less than or equal to 0, we will, I don't know, just destroy the actor for now. Destroy the actor. This does basically mean if you shoot a boat and it dies, it disappears, but we'll fix that later. So we'll call this take damage. Cool. The only way to test this is to make sure that we can actually shoot them. So let's make sure we have our projectiles set up correctly. Here's the cannon projectile. On component, hit, apply damage. Cool. So if we add a turret to our boat, whoops. If we add a turret to our boat, we should be able to see if it hurts the AI or not. So we need to go to the menu level and add a turret. We'll add a turret everywhere we can. Deploy. All right, we'll start by trying to hit them with the triple barrel cannons. Oh, that's rough. The projectiles are not moving fast enough to fly the distance. Oh, I'm also about out of ammo because I fired all my cannons at once. Oh no. Oh, I think I hit them. They just despawned. What? Hold on. Attempted to access PT boats via property none, but PT boats 2 is still pending kill. I didn't shoot that second one, so that's kind of concerning. Oh, you know what? I didn't actually put a health value, so their health value should be something. We'll set it to 100, and our cannon projectiles currently do 0 damage, so that might also be causing issues. We'll set it to 50. So I'll put cannons on the right side here. Alright, I can't. Here we go. Oh, they're aiming too low. They're still too low. And I'm out of ammo. Okay.
Well,
so much for that test. Okay, let's increase the projectile speed to 50k. I may also want to switch to a PT boat just to test this stuff. Oh, that was way faster, but I now overshot. Oh, now I undershot. Well, okay. Set boat choice to 0, please. We'll add 1 cannon, so we're not wasting all our ammo immediately. That even hit? Okay, I need a better indicator. Custom collision. Let's add a print string. Here. Tell me you got shot. Oops. Okay. That's bothering me. Okay, they're literally spawning anywhere in the world, and I need them to not do that. So we'll add another branch here. Actually, not there. We should add it before we even think about checking to spawn anything. Branch. Is hit actor equal to self? There we go. Okay, now we're no longer going to spawn turrets off the model. Okay. Either the projectile is not hitting anything, or it's not detecting that it's hitting. Or the boat. Okay, either the boat can't tell it's being hit, or the projectile is not hitting anything. What is happening? Okay. Are you even hitting anything? Okay. Now we go to this boat here. What is happening? Is it maybe going too fast to detect that it hit something? That'd be silly though. Let's try that. And let's, for my sanity's sake, drop that delay to 0.25. Oh, I saw that. Hold on. The turret is not actually aiming where I'm... Well, I mean, yeah, but no. Okay, I saw that. The boat just pretended it didn't get shot. You bastard.
Call your hits! Call your hits!
Call your hits! God damn you. Okay, object type. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's set your collisions to overlap all dynamic, and let's see if that changes anything. I should probably be testing this with a triple barrel cannon, if I'm being honest, since that increases my chances of hitting something in case my aim is just that bad, but... Okay, that was on me. Okay, I saw that. That's supposed to hit. That should have hit too. That should have hit too. Oh my god, you're just not calling your shots. What is your problem? Okay. It has to do with this box, I'm pretty sure. What if I do... block all? Hopefully that doesn't script with the AI too much. I forgot to give myself ammo for the triple barrel cannons. Give myself 100 rounds. Alright, I have 100 triple barrel rounds. Let's do this. Oh, right. You are not calling your shots. I see you not calling your shots. What is your problem? Okay. Do I need to add a collision sphere? Is that why you're choosing not to call your shots? Because you're like, ah, it's not a real sphere? It's pretty pretentious.
Discord when you got a moment.
Huh?
Just Discord when you got a moment.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, you're muted. Oh, check Discord.
I'm trying to be subtle.
There you go. Let's set the radius on this to be pretty big. Maybe this will help us. Alright, you cheating whore. Let's settle this. Oh, I gotta actually equip the right cannons. Damn it, I missed my shot. Are you not calling your shots again? What do you want from me, dude? What if we... on component hit... Yeah, let's do that. I didn't have this much trouble during Cafe de Arms. I'm so confused why I'm having so much trouble with this.
It's not creature shaped.
You are not calling your shots. Okay, that's it. Show me your hitbox. I need to see your hitbox, dude. Okay, I see your hitbox. It is attached to you. And you still won't call your shots. Even my raycasts are saying I hit you. So you're just being rude for no reason.
Do they have damage on?
Damage is turned on. They do have health. I even set it to where when the projectile hits something, it's supposed to say so. Here, let's plug this in as well. This Division 2 music in the background is now feeling more appropriate than ever. Bruh. What if I cheat a little bit? Basically cast to BT_boats and tell it directly, hey, I hit you. You will now call your shot. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we can certainly try it. What is your problem, dude? Okay. What could possibly be? Like, the projectile's even saying it's... Well, I mean, the projectile hasn't used a print string in a minute, I guess, too. Collision sphere, overlap all dynamic. I swear to God, if I just rebuild a projectile from scratch and it just works the first time, I'm gonna lose my mind. Dude. I genuinely have no idea what's going on here. So we're gonna try something silly. Where's the triple barrel cannon weapon? You're currently using a line trace just to make sure you're not hitting the player, and I appreciate you for that. We're going to abuse that now. So if you extend the range of that to, I don't know, 100,000. We're going to cast 2 PT boats. Then slide all this to the right. Apply damage. And if it turns out the apply damage thing is just not working, then that'll be something different. He just died. Okay. So he can be hit by information lasers, but not projectiles, for whatever reason. Okay. Hurt box. What is your collision status? Your collision status is currently... block all. Okay, where's my projectile? What if we set your collisions to block all? That does mean these rounds can technically bounce off the floor like... Oh, it didn't bounce off the floor. Okay, I'm confused. And he's still not calling his damn shots.
Well, are you calling your shots?
Well, no. I am incapable of calling my own shots. I'm the biggest cheater of this lands, and I will hold that title. However... Okay, so for some reason, the sphere itself is not detecting that it's hitting anything, and I'm just so confused by that. And I don't want the cannons to be hit scanned, but if that's what it's going to take to do things here, then I don't know what else to do. Let's do custom collision, query, and physics. You are a world dynamic. If this doesn't work, our turrets will shoot lasers until we fix everything else first. Okay. Whatever, man. At least we got the AI up and running. Your rounds aren't registering collisions? No, they're not, Awen. I don't know why they're not, but they're not. Added PT boat enemy AI. We should at least try and see if we can make the player to get hurt too. Hurt. Hurt box. So now we just need to make sure that the torpedoes actually behave, and that's what I'm most scared of right now. Okay, so here's our torpedo. Actor begin overlap apply damage. So we need to add a health system to the player as well, which is actually, you know, as we've shown, fairly simple. Event any damage. Let's give player health. We'll give them ooh, we should establish what the health is based on the boat that we pick. That would be smart. Set health. So if you're a PT boat, we'll give you 100. If you're a battleship, we'll give you, I don't know, 500. Why not? And we'll give you 1,000 if you're a cruiser.
I'm going to go poke the crew, see if anyone else will be joining.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Set health equal to health minus damage. Plug that in. And then if health is less than or equal to 0, I don't know, pause game. Where's my pause game function? Input action pause. Custom event pause. Pause. Boom. Excuse you. Oh, there we go. I forgot to set up a hurt box properly. We need the hurt box to dynamically change with the size of the boat too, unfortunately. So much work. We can probably steal some of the information from the body box. Mainly the location. So if we go to the body box array, we can copy this. And then copy the scale as well. That does not look like how it should be. That's okay. We can just do it ourselves. So our hurt box should be left side view. That should be good. Then it should be able to take damage for us. Let's disable physics on the boat model itself, which now that I'm thinking about it might also be why things are being weird, but I don't know. Actor begin overlap apply damage. Let's just test it. I probably should have equipped a torpedo and tried firing it, honestly, but we'll let the AI test it for us here. We have a hurt box, so they should be able to hit us with it. Or not. Oh wait, actually. Apply damage. So let's do this, just to make sure it's working. When we take damage, we will also print a string, and that string will be our health. I hit myself with the torpedo. No. The torpedo is too slow. Or I'm too fast. I guess it doesn't truly matter. We move at 500 acceleration with a max speed of 6. Our max speed is 600. Okay, well, how fast is the torpedo? 800. It should be faster. Here, let's do a small band-aid fix. Excuse you. There we go. There, and then when we fire our torpedo, right, torpedo displays a separate actor. No. Set owning actor. It'll be this. This will allow the player and the AI to fire those torpedoes without killing themselves, essentially. Okay. It still hit us. Why? Is the other actor equal to the owning actor? If true, do nothing. If false, apply damage. Oh, it's because we didn't do it in here, right? Set owning actor. Self. We still hit ourselves? Hold on, I don't believe this. Give me another torpedo. Well, I guess this is going to be an opportunity for the AI to shoot me and just test it too. Okay, their torpedo is working. That's good. Okay, what if I switch this around? Rolled a 1. Oh god, where did I roll a 1? Don't tell me I rolled another nat 1 in perception. That'd be really, really bad. Okay, well the torpedo doesn't hurt us now, so that's good news. Alright, so can this guy hurt me now? I didn't get hurt by that. Okay, well can I hurt you with this then? torpedoed yourself. Oh yeah, net one then. Alright. Fire torpedo here? That's not gonna hit, is it? Oh, it hit him. It hit him. He did not care. Okay, so... I don't know why it's ignoring this. That's what I'm so confused about. Yeah, we're still hitting ourselves. Alright. Here's what we're gonna do to fix that then, because I am running so thin on patience right now. Get our boat skeleton, get the torpedo bay, and just slide that forward until we're not shooting ourselves. There we go. Alright, now, do their torpedoes hurt me? And do my torpedoes hurt them? Okay, I took damage.
Oh, you're calling your hits now?
I'm calling my hits. I don't know if these guys are just...
Hits yet?
We're about to find out with the torpedo. I shot myself again! Whack! The torpedoes are not moving fast enough. I don't know why. We'll give them a movement speed of 1,000. Why not?
So for torpedoes, usually you have to aim where the ship's going to be, not where the ship already is.
I mean, yes, but if we're moving forward and we shoot, we're shooting ourselves.
Gotcha.
That's the dilemma. I shot myself again.
You could have the torpedoes launch from the side of the ship.
We could. The issue being that the AI wouldn't know how to do that. Well, actually, the AI don't... Okay, I was about to say the AI aren't hitting themselves somehow, but they're also not calling their hits, so I don't actually know what they're doing. Okay, if I'm moving forward and I shoot now... There we go. Okay, I'll call my hit, and then I'm going to chase you down. I can shoot you right in the side. As soon as I reload, you're so toast. You bastard! Why don't you call your hits? Can you limit the bullet collision to anything that is not you? I did try doing that in a really hacky way. It didn't work. So I'm going to say no. Unless I do maybe get player character. Okay, hold on. If the torpedo can hit me, that means I did something right with my hurt box, but not with their hurt box, and that just doesn't make sense to me. Overlap all dynamic. That's all I did, was just overlap all dynamic, so I don't... Whatever. We're gonna test this, and then regardless of the results, we're gonna have to call it a night. We'll pick this back up tomorrow morning. Oh, it hit. Oh my god. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Yes. It did hit. What the hell? Okay, we're gonna check the triple barrel cannons now. Worst case scenario, it just means that our bullet projectile's wrong and we'll just steal from the torpedo. Okay, so yeah, something's wrong with the bullets that we're using to shoot from the cannons. So, oh shoot, that's not what I want. That we want that in successes. Fixed torpedo launch position. Added damage and health for torpedo combat. Fix cannon projectiles. No collision with the enemy. We're also going to need to implement the other enemy types. We need to dynamically adjust player hurt box with boat choice. And then the other thing we need to do, and that's amazing we haven't done this yet, we need to add a UI for choosing the boat. And then progression system for earning boat/weapons. Is there anything else in here that we didn't do? Display controls is something I want to do. Basically all of this. We did do this. Yeah, that's everything. So tomorrow we'll work on, well, we fixed this, kind of, not really, no we didn't. We'll need to fix the torpedoes tomorrow, we need to fix the cannon projectiles, we need to implement the other enemy types, adjust the hurt box for the player based on their boat choice, add a user interface for choosing your boat, a progression system, display controls, a tutorial, and we need the enemies to drop weapons. I feel like you are skipping the testing phase of things and running through adding things. I mean, yeah. Usually I would make sure I can shoot and the bullet registers collisions before adding a health and damage system. Yeah. Look, man, I haven't really been doing anything right this game jam. I've been doing things way out of order. But I've also been learning a lot, and that's what I hope to gain from this, is just learning. So maybe next time I'll actually have a proper design document too, because that's the other thing we didn't do before this game jam. But anyway, that's going to be the stream for today. We'll pick this back up again tomorrow, try and get as much fixed and implemented as need be. Until then.